Hello, here I am again in my car, in between doing things, feeling like it's time to share some of what I've been experiencing over the last several days, even several weeks, months, years. um, it has been really interesting. I've really been taking the time to notice, and, I've talked about that in the last couple of videos, but it's something that I've talked about since my early 20s. We're talking 17 years. I've understood the what to do. I've just struggled so much with the how to do it. How do you get still and be present with those things that make you uncomfortable, especially in the midst of life, of family, of jobs, of, emergencies, of finances, just all of those things that take your attention from the present moment. How do you pay attention? Well, you have to make space. I mean, that just becomes the ultimate truth of it all. And what I have learned is either you make the space or the space makes itself. And you can either get better or get bitter. But there is going to come a time where you are called to really sit with your stuff, to be present, to breathe, to notice. And if you do that, you begin to empower yourself in a way that seems so impossible. It seems so far away and so far-fetched for so long. But suddenly it's so possible. And, it's in implementing all those things we've been learning along the way and maybe not knowing necessarily how to do it or having the space to do it in. I feel like now is the time. I know, especially for myself and for many others that I work closely with, we're feeling that we're being called now to take this time for ourselves. The space is being created. The opportunity is there. And, we've spent so long trying to understand what to do with what we know. We get the what. We get the meditation. We get the breath is good. We get that we have to sit with our emotions. We get this creating space and being with the discomfort, and it makes sense and it sounds so simple. But then when we go to do it, it feels so hard and so resistant. And it goes back to what I've always been saying. The more we do it, the easier it gets. The more we acknowledge those triggers and create space around them so that they can heal. The more that we open our heart space, the more that we eat healthy foods, the more that we laugh, the more that we love, the more that we find self-acceptance, the more that we practice self-care, the more that we're compassionate, the more that we are aware of how we're exchanging the energy with the people around us, the more we align with that which we're really wanting to experience and wanting to see, rather than focusing on those things that make us upset or avoiding the things that make us upset. The things that make us upset are going to be there. It's not about whether or not they're there. It's how we respond to those things. Do we yell and complain and carry on and create hate? Or do we instead take a deep breath and first find compassion for ourselves, notice our triggers, and then begin to ask questions about these things that we're so resistant to? Why are they existing? Why are other people reacting to them? What is this about? And what purpose are they serving? Is there something that I could give here that may make a difference in a positive way? Or am I going to feed the air of negativity? And oftentimes it's by just taking a step back and taking a breath that we're able to identify what it is that we can best do in the situation. And in some moments, we're going to want to speak up. And in other moments, we're going to find that it serves us better to sort of move away and take what we've learned from the situation and apply it to the next thing that we're going to do. When we're able to be present with ourselves in this way and notice things and just show up in each and every moment in the way that we're being called, there's this synchronicity, that is created, that I've heard so much about, and that every time I've heard it, I've felt the truth in it. But now that I'm truly beginning to experience it on a moment-to-moment level, not just a here and there or every now and then, but really throughout the day, moment to moment, I see the synchronicities, I see the signs and the signals. I feel what is mine to do. I notice when I'm not feeling in alignment, and I take a step back and take a breath and ask myself what that's about. Try to remember my natural flow. Ask the question, how can I best show up here in this situation? What is the best response that I can give to what's happening around me? Is my voice needed? Do I have something valuable to exchange here? Or is it best that I just take the information that I have gathered and take it forward in some way? It's through this presence, through this beginning to understand ourselves, to ask questions, to be curious, to hold space, to do the things that make us feel good, so that when the things that show up that don't feel so good, we are able to hold a different kind of energy around them. We're able to see them from a new perspective. Our challenges don't feel so challenging. We don't feel so stuck. That density, that heaviness doesn't feel so heavy. One of the things that I found that has been so supportive for me, and I've known this again for so long, and I've been working with it for so long, but I feel like I've accepted it on a new level and began to acknowledge it on a new level, is really bringing the awareness to my heart space when I'm feeling resistance. Acknowledging that that resistance that I'm feeling is my heart closing around something that I'm afraid to acknowledge, or too uncomfortable to acknowledge, or uncertain of what to do with. And what I found is that as I breathe into that space and create a stillness for whatever it is that I'm trying to close around to sort of present itself, oftentimes I'm able to just breathe through it and let it go. And as it moves, I can actually feel myself begin to relax. I can feel my shoulders, my jaw, every part of me just relax and move into a more flowing and loving space. And each time I do this, it seems to become more and more natural to me. And so again, I'm taking those words and those lessons that I've been learning all along, and I'm applying them in a new and different way by creating this space and really paying attention and being in the moment. And so I encourage you to continue to apply those tools that are working, and to begin to notice and move away from those things that maybe aren't working as well. Beginning to hold space and understand why you may be hesitant to let go of some of those things you've been holding on to. I wish you the greatest blessings, and more than anything, I wish you present moment authenticity.